Dudes and dudettes, how are you guys? This is Chazzy and welcome back to What's the Damage? The good old WTD question mark here on my channel. And pretty much at this point my favorite segment because I've been doing a lot of What's the Damages lately since coming back to YouTube. You know, there is a reason for that. It's because I actually kind of want to kind of like fill up my What's the Damage playlist more than the mixer, you know, because there are way too many videos in the mixer. You know, I do those a lot more frequently and I'm gonna start doing a lot of mixers pretty soon because of something specific, you know, but it's all good. But still, the point is that I just want to do a little bit more of this, you know, to give you guys a little bit more variety. And also, well, how can it be variety if I just do videos of one playlist, right? Well, still, you know, today's topic is going to be covering something that I've actually talked about many years ago, but I want to do it again because I have been going the Hollywood route on YouTube and remaking old videos that sucked the first time around. And today the topic is going to be fake news. Yes, fake freaking news, man. You guys might be thinking, what the hell is Chazzy gonna be doing, making a 10 or so minute long video just talking about fake news? How boring is that? I mean, why is he just like running out of ideas at this point? I don't know. Why is he doing a bunch of random crappy videos that have nothing to do with anything? Okay, well, you know what? If you think that way and you're saying that right now and you agree with what I have been saying, if you think that this topic is boring and you know, don't have any interest in it, well, let me just tell you something, okay? I have been doing so many, you know, highly produced videos on YouTube lately. A lot of movie reviews, you know, a lot of gameplays that do take a while, and some videos take more editing than others. I'm tired, I'm exhausted. I just want to do something simple, so please give me a goddamn break, okay? This is going to be a concept vlog. I'm just going to come and talk to you guys. No photos or videos or anything, just me and the background music, so bet my chuckle on you. And I had the weekend. So, fake news, right? The term was actually first used way back in the 1890s, you know, to back when newspapers still used a lot of sensational reports to spread false information, you know. It can be defined in a broad sense, you know, to advertise, you know, fakeness, you know, and essentially it can be satirical at times. You know, there are people who use fake news as a way to create parodies, you know, and just comedy, but a lot of them do, a lot of articles, you know, sources do employ sensationalist or even clickbait headlines, you know, to try to attract attention. Clickbait is something that I might get to in another video, you know, but it's essentially a way for you to entice audiences to reading what you wrote, even if it's not 100% true with the title, you know. This is especially prevalent in politics, you know, in the political scene where, you know, candidates like, for example, Donald Trump, when he was running for president, you know, he was trying really hard to fight against fake news, you know, because they were spreading false information about him, although a lot of it wasn't even false, you know. But still, I'm not going to get into that right now. But the problem with fake news is that it has become much more prevalent in recent years with the rise of social media, especially Facebook, you know. Facebook is a very complicated place to navigate through because it seems like everything that they share is related to fake news, you know. They spread a lot of false information. It's not even the social network themselves, it's the people, you know. But Facebook has very, very non-stringent, you know, let's say rules in place, you know, to avoid misinformation. So they're starting to crack down on it now, you know, and try to, you know, permeate it just like Twitter does. I think Twitter is a place where it's really hard for you to come across fake news because they kind of already filter it automatically. Not sure how it's going to be with Elon Musk taking over now, but still, I haven't seen anything too bad up until this point, you know. But Facebook always sucked with this, you know. It's like Mark Zuckerberg doesn't care enough to try to filter out the actual proper information. So it's one of the reasons why I stopped using Facebook. I just think it's really annoying, you know. I only go on to look at the calendars for, you know, my friends' birthdays and stuff, you know, but aside from that, I really don't care. But the point is that it has been used to spread so much false information. The Facebook newsfeed can be a very toxic place of lies, you know. The information gradually starts to come into the mainstream media, so that's one of the reasons why it's so, you know, it's so revered as this, you know, crappy little factor there. There are a lot of other factors that can be implicated in the spread of fake news, you know. You've got, for example, political polarization or post-truth about politics, you know, or motivated reasoning or even confirmation bias, you know. So there are many different reasons why somebody would spread fake news, you know. And sometimes, you know, they can tap into the social media algorithms, you know, knowing that something is going to spread quickly, you know, if enough people share it. So they kind of work towards that. They kind of work on that to their advantage, you know. But still, in general, fake news is making the whole entire world dumb. obviously, and this is not meant to be as a diss to the elderly, you know, it's just a God-given common fact, you know, the older you get, the more susceptible you are to being affected by fake news, especially if you are of the generation that didn't grow up with internet, you know, like mine did, or still is rather. So our parents, you know, if you're like in your mid to late 20s, you know, or 30s, then your parents are likely very susceptible to fake news. I've seen this with my own folks, you know, sometimes there will be a very obviously fake story circling around the line, and my dad is gonna not only share it but try to tell me about it, you know, and then by the time that he figures out that it's actually not real, he has already shared it with other people, you know, other people around his age range that are going to believe it the same way that he did. And this is what is very dangerous about fake news, because depending on how much it's shared, it can actually present a danger, because it's going to start eventually competing with the actual real news, you know, like if you spread fake news to such a degree that it's going to overtake the actual real news, then we're gonna have a problem, you know. There was actually this thing back in the 2016 presidential election, you know, that BuzzFeed, they actually did an analysis that found that the top fake news stories about that presidential election was actually receiving more engagement on Facebook than other news sources, you know. So now other major media outlets were giving the true stories, but there was a lot of fake news circling around Facebook, and that's what people actually latched onto, you know. They preferred to believe what they saw on a social network than an actual major news outlet, because people are very distrusting of a lot of the government officials. I actually talked about this in my flat earth video about how the earth literally can't be flat, and addressing how people are dumb for thinking it is, you know. Sometimes it comes from a place of not wanting to believe authoritative figures, because certain people are dumb enough to think that the government is always lying to them. Maybe that's where the problem comes from, you know. But there are many strategies to try to combat, you know, fake news, but it's really tough. It gets harder and harder. And if you're a smart person, if you consider yourself intelligent, then there is no way that you can actively spread fake news if you stop and think about it, you know. If you take the fake news at face value here in front of you, you know, having the ability to actively confront the false statement before sharing it already makes you a smart person, you know, because you're going to be faced with the information there in front of you, and then you can actually take care to not share that, which will drastically reduce the spread of false information, you know. That's essentially the way it works, you know. But the problem is that we live in a generation where the internet is very prevalent, you know. The internet really started to become a thing back in the mid 2000s, towards like the mid to late 2000s, you know, and there were many sensationalist news story being shared, you know, because it was easy back then for you to get away with sharing fake news, because there were very few online sources for you to confirm what you were talking about, you know. So a lot of people used confirmation bias and personal reasoning to spread fake stories, knowing that it would take a long time for their lie to be discovered, if it ever even was, you know. So I mean, that's just how it is, man. And sometimes in many instances, people believe what they want to believe. They want a crazy story. They want Bigfoot to exist. They want the Loch Ness Monster to exist. They want Donald Trump to be a cross-dressing douche. The people are always desiring something, you know. We're always craving this crazy story about gossip, you know, and this amazing rumor about a celebrity that's actually true. We want there to be something there, so we fabricate it, you know, and then we take that fabrication and start spreading it to people, and before you know it, hundreds and thousands or even hundreds of thousands of people are believing something that isn't even true, you know. And the problem with fake news is that aside from, wow, I just spit into my camera, aside from spreading very quickly, it can also turn into a snowball and grow bigger, and a lot of the information, a lot of the details can get skewered along the way. So by the time a fake news story, you know, blows up, it has been already taken way out of proportion. So that's why it's very important for you to just not be stupid. Of course, if you keep spreading around fake news, you know, and consuming it, it's going to lead to an undermined trust in serious media coverage, you know. So I mean, you know, some actual serious news outlets will have very top and enriching stories, you know, but you're not going to believe them because you're already so conditioned to think that everything is fake news, you know. A very famous example was Donald Trump himself, you know, who actually misused the term many times while he was in office in America, you know, because he would use fake news to talk about media stories that were actually, you know, undermining to him. So whatever openly criticized him, he would just call fake news or hoax news, you know. So he completely misunderstood how the term actually works, you know. So basically, whenever there was credible news, even if it was actually verified to be, you know, negative, like for example, there was a story about him that was actually proven, you know, but it showed him in a negative light, he would say, no, that's fake news, forget about it, you know, I don't care, that's not a credible source of information, you know, that kind of thing, you know. Just give you an example. So pretty much any press coverage of the guy that he didn't like, he would call fake news, you know. And throughout his 4 years in office, bro, there was a database, you know? The guy made over 30,000 fake, false statements, you know, and gave fake information, you know? Which basically, like, you know, misleading claims, for example, or literally just making up a bunch of stories, you know? So now, the number of unique claims is actually lower because he did repeat them many times, you know, but I do believe 60,000 of those false claims even became a freaking book, man, you know, so it's freaking crazy. You can find them online today. So the guy was a lunatic, you know, and he used the term that had nothing to do with him, you know, just to give it as an excuse for his followers to support him even more, you know. Like, okay, let's say that he kicked a puppy in the middle of the street, and he actually did kick a puppy. There's actual verified reference that he kicked a puppy, but he's like, nope, that's fake news. And all of his supporters will think that it's actually fake news, even though there's evidence that he did it, you know. It's literally like proving that the earth is not flat, you know. People believe what they want to believe, you know, so it's freaking annoying how this works. But still, Donald Trump was crazy, you know. He's kind of like the exception to all of this, you know, but still, I just think it's annoying. I have a cheat sheet here on my tablet with so many examples of other instances, you know, I just have a lot of different nomenclatures here, but it's gonna get way too long. But essentially, the way that you combat fake news, number one, don't be an idiot, okay? Actually use your brainstem, you know, and use the very limited intelligence that you have to just, you know, look up something, do research into it, confirm if it's actually true before you actually share it to social media if you feel the need to, you know. And also, that's actually number two, don't share, you know. If you are looking at something that kind of feels like it's not real, don't share it at all. Keep it to yourself. Maybe talk to a friend about it, you know. Not everything needs to be shared publicly on social media, you know. And also, don't believe somebody just because they're rich and famous, you know. If a celebrity that you like comes out and says that they believe the earth is flat, do not hop on that bandwagon. Do not believe them just because you admire them for what they do, you know, and their line of work, because it's going to lead to very, very bad consequences for you later on. So just trust me, it's never a good idea. Just formulate your own opinion, you know, but just try really hard to just not be dumb, you know, because it's really easy for fake news to spread quickly and turn people into a bunch of morons, you know. We've seen that many times in the past, so just chill, you know. And I try to always, when I do a video here on YouTube talking about a current event, I always try to do as much research as possible and then put together kind of like a little cheat sheet or a script, you know, to try to give you guys the best information possible. And if it happens to change later, I'll record another video, you know, correcting myself. It happens, you know, that's just the pressures of having a YouTube career, even though I'm not famous yet. But still, guys, I'm getting tired as hell. I've been rambling on for a while here, you know, and I have to refer to my cheat sheet here for a while, so I'm so tired and I'm lazy. That's why I keep looking at what I have written down here, you know, because I just can't memorize anything. I'm not in the right headspace today, guys, you know, but I promise that the next videos will be better. I'm just exhausted lately, you know. It's been taking a toll on me, but it's all good. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think about this, if you agree with what I said, and if you disagree, let me know too. Let's have a little healthy debate down there. And if you happen to like this video, please go ahead and give it a like, and also subscribe to my channel because I release videos every single day. And while you're at it, hit the notification bell too so you can know exactly what time those videos come out. And it's all good, guys. It's all good. I lost a little bit of energy here towards the end. It's because I remembered how hungry I am. I'm starving. Haven't eaten in hours. And that's it, guys. This is Chazzy signing out for now, and as always, I will see you guys in the next video. Roll the outro screen, which I promise is not fake.